Well, hello there, folks. Welcome and thank you for joining me on Mr. Boardgames' Lonely Table. Today I'm doing another unboxing and I am extremely excited for this one. As you can see, I have a mysterious box on the table. And no, I haven't zoomed the camera in at all. That is just how thick this box is. So today's unboxing is a game called Nemesis, and it's by Awaken Realms. Nemesis is a miniature game designed and published by Awaken Realms. This was, I think this was my second miniature game in our collection, but it was my first Awaken's Realm game. Nemesis was a Kickstarter that concluded back in February of 2018. My copy came about a year ago, before we ended up coming here to Saskatchewan. So far, Em and I have played one game. We've played one game for it. And we had a blast. Let me tell you guys, folks, we had a blast doing it. We died horribly, but we had fun doing it. Back then, when I first got the game, we didn't have the space to do an unboxing. But, as you've probably figured out by now, we kind of had the space. And I think it's time I show you. Look at all the components, including all of the expansions. There's a lot of them, let me tell you, a lot. So, Nemesis is a 1-to-5 semi-cooperative sci-fi horror, where you and your friends try to survive while attempting to fulfill your secret objectives that may sometimes collide with each other. It is designed that you can have a fully cooperative game, or you can even go a solo experience if you want. A full campaign designed for co-op or solo play. There's books in there, and it walks you through it all. So, currently, Board Game Geek is giving it a complexity or a weight of 3.36 out of 5. It's slightly more advanced when it comes to learning and playing. It currently has an average rating of about 8.4 out of 10 on Board Game Geek. So, to show you roughly how difficult this game can be to play and learn, there is, and we'll get you a link by the time we come to for a play. There's a how to play that's like an hour long. So it explains a lot. It's very, very detailed, and we'll give you more details when it comes time to play the game. So I picked this game up because I wanted to go with something that was kind of sci-fi horror. Like I said, I'm looking for a thematic game. And, well, this is a game that will take you to the heat of to the heart, rather, of a sci-fi survival horror and all of its terror. As an example, a soldier fires blindly down a corridor trying to stop the alien in advance. A scientist races to find a solution to his makeshift lab. A traitor steals the last escape pod in the very last moments. Intruders you meet on the ship are not only reacting to noise you make, but you are also evolving every time it goes by. The longer the game takes, the stronger they become. So yeah, it's pretty terrifying. These are things that you will actually experience in the game. I'm not even kidding you. When we did it, yeah, there was cases of my heart racing and what's going to happen next. So a little bit more here. So anyways, this is a Kickstarter game. This is, I don't think you can actually get a copy of this game anymore. If you can, let us know, but I really don't think you can. You might be able to find it in a retail store, but I have a strong feeling you won't. When I did the Kickstarter, it came with a lot of expansions and a lot of stretch goals too. So of course I also got the core box here. So you're going to see a lot of stuff here. I've also added a few add-ons purely for aesthetic purposes. That's kind of what I do when I do these Kickstarters, because I like to immerse myself in the game. For that 2 hours we play, I love feeling it. So there will be some things in this box that's not standard. For example, the miniatures I have a technique called sun drop on them. So they've got a nice little shade to them and a little bit of a color to them and a little bit of detail. This is like a thing that's made for painters, but I'm not a painter. But you're going to see just just lets it pop compared to your basic gray models. You'll see what I mean shortly. So, needless to say, Awaken Realms put a lot of time and effort into this game. Like, it took a whole year to do before it was even released. And they are known to do these things. So, I'm inviting you all to come along. This might be a little bit longer than a typical unboxing, but that's because there's so many contents in here. So come along for the journey and let's take a look what's inside Nemesis by Awaken Realms. So as you can see, I'm going to have to come off the camera. So first up, we have one of the expansions for the game. It's the Carnomorph expansion. You can see when I talked about horror, I meant it. Just look at that box. That's crazy. Inside here, we're going to find basically it's the miniatures to this game. So just bear with me while I pull them out. And you're going to see a lot of good detail in these. It's just to show you where they went with all the details and kind of what to expect inside the box. I know it's pretty creepy. So as far as I know, Carnomorphs are kind of like, they're monsters that are made of human body parts. If anyone has played the game Dead Space, you'll know what a Carnomorph is. So inside the box, we've got the game manual. It's very thin. There's not a whole lot to go with it, but you can see fine print. Like the detail on those pictures there, like that's just... And of course on the back we have a summary. So we have our cardboard cutouts here. Just turn that around. Show you that. That's the Carnomorph board. And the rest of the stuff is the miniatures. And you can see that they've got a nice little positioning for all of the pieces. And that's what I really liked about what Awaken Realms did with this whole game, is the detail, the space that they put inside for your miniatures. So one of the common current things that happen in Nemesis is you have your larvae, and then the bad guys get bigger and bigger, and at the end there's always one queen or one king, depending on which one you want to play with. You can buy either model. So the first thing you'll see, like, this is the very first stage of the creatures, the Carnomorphs. It's hard to really point those out, but you can see they got the pre-shade on there, the sun drop. I'll try to get as close as I can here. It's just remarkable. Video can't really do it any justice to the pieces, like what they've done in here. Maybe when I get a bigger piece, you'll kind of get to see it. So unless I'm mistaken, the next stage from that larvae is this guy. And he looks very reminiscent, if you've ever played a game, if you ever played StarCraft, looks very reminiscent of a Hydralisk or like a Zerg. Just crazy. And then we'll just continue. Like I said, it's... So they're very... It's something else for sure. Let's see, move up to the next level. Very stuck in there. So now we're moving up here. Now they've gone a little bit bigger. Here's the top. And there we go. That's what I'm looking at. There we go. Look at the detail that they've put into this. And as you can see, there's a slight red tinge to it, and that's to indicate that it's part of the Carnomorph expansion. Crazy, isn't it? And we'll just go up one more level. And now we're getting more and more terrifying. Just let the camera kind of pick that up. Look at that. Now we're getting a little bit more terrifying in terms of our creatures. So this is like the stage just underneath the big boss. Look at that. Isn't that... It's meticulous, right? I don't think any 3D printer you can buy on the market can do something this good. And now I don't know, I think it's another, here's just another variant of the same wonderful, like the same strength of the creatures there. Look at that. Isn't that something? Like I said, I'm really excited about this. Like, wow. And they've done different variations throughout that. Then your deck of cards. They got pretty decent in terms of like graphics on here. And like the way that the game plays is you get equipment cards, and they also have an like attack abilities. You can see that they put some time into that, the art for sure. So that's the big ones. Here, there's an idea of the Carnomorphs, their own attack. Look at the detail. Isn't that? And there's the back of it. And then they've got these other things. These are the adaptations. So as they evolve, they can get new abilities. So like I said, as you play the game, the longer you take to play the game, the stronger your bad guys start becoming. Which then is all the more terrifying, to be honest. But it will keep you on edge throughout the whole process. I know we were enjoying it. And like as you can see, as I put these back in the box, they just fit in perfectly. They just got lovely little... Everything's got a spot. And that in itself is a beauty, especially when it comes to these miniature type games, is just the ability to be able to put them all away. This one's a little bit sticky. There we go. And then I put the... Oh. Sorry. There we go. That's much more like it. As you can see, boom, perfectly sealed. Get that out of the way. So this is an add-on that I got. This is the terrain expansion. And these ones I just got because instead of having cardboard doors, I wanted to have something a little bit more, real. So this has got 2 levels. This is the first part of the pieces. So, like I said, this is just terrain. So this is just doors. But as you can see, they've taken the time to put the detail in that. Look at the scratch marks. Look at on that door. Like, isn't that just... I know, I'm just raving over the detail. I know I've said it excessively, but look at the detail. But that just gives you an idea of how excited I am for like to be able to run I wish more games kind of this. Really brings you in, really helps you forget about the world. So here's the escape pods. So these are the escape pods when they're closed. Like they're not ready to be launched. And now we're getting into corpses. Like, again, you can see there's a bit of a pre-shade on there, but look at that corpse. Who is this unfortunate fella? Maybe his name is Ricky. Maybe his name is Bobby. Who knows? And here's our lovely lady. She just was having a relax, I guess, and next thing you know, she's dead. And these, I believe, belongs to a separate expansion pack. I think or a different game mode. I'm not really sure. They're kind of like spores, I guess. So again, same thing. They all just fit in nicely. Boom. Cap it off. And you've got perfectly sealed. Actually, I think those things I just grabbed, the last things that I said was spores, I think they're egg pouches. And let's just keep digging. Sorry about that. And now with every Kickstarter, if anyone has ever done a Kickstarter, they know there's stretch goals. That's like the main thing. You spend more money, we get more stretch goals or stuff. Typically it's free at that point for you to have. There's so many stretch goals that they actually had to create a whole box for it. And you'll see here, like this is the Nemesis stretch goal aftermath and Void Seeders. It's two separate expansions. And then, of course, we got your rule book right at the front. Again, details when it comes to the art. Just nice, just gorgeous, really thematic art. Void Seeders, look at that. Isn't that... That's just... this is things that that inspire me to want to, like, become an artist. Learn how to draw. So of course, it included opponent stretch goals was the added medic. So you could play the medic. She's got her own abilities and her own miniature here. Just a few more pieces there. This is also more people that they had in. They had the CEO, an android, psychologist, a bounty hunter. And this is the Void Seeders board. As you can see, we kind of played a little bit. And you can also be a convict. Be a pretty intense, eh? Just an extra piece to the board. And like I said, here we go. Now we'll look at these miniatures. So the Void Seeder expansion is something similar to... So your basic best way to, I think the way for me to describe it is your basic intruder in the core game is alien in nature. Like, they're pretty much what you'd consider to be I'm trying to think how to describe your typical alien from Alien versus Predator. That's, I think, the best way to go. So if you ever watch the movie Alien versus Predator, you'll have an idea of what they kind of look like. The Void Seeders takes it to, I think the best way to describe it is people with, or beings rather, with psychic powers. Immediately, sorry to bring in more video games, I'm more immediately thinking something like in the Protoss, for example, in StarCraft. And we'll get into that. I'll show you some of these pieces as we go forward. So we'll start off here. We got each character model, and they give you these little bases, which I'll show you in a second, the little pink base. And every character you put the base on it, so you know what unit it is. Otherwise, they just pop off. See? So if you want to be the pink player, then you just throw this on your miniature. So the first bit, I believe this is the medic. But let's see if I can show you what the medic looks like. There you go. Pretty, it's pretty good. And we'll take it up here. We've got another one of the characters. I think this is the psychologist. Let's see the psychologist here. Once it focuses. Anyways, this one's I'm not gonna be able to show you this one as well as the other ones, but sorry about that. Convict, I think. Nice. And I think that's the bounty hunter. This looks more like a convict to me. I don't know if you can actually see these. CEO has a robot assistant. And this might be the android. Fortunately, they can't really get the characters as well. And this was like a fun little bonus. So this is the first player marker. It's a kitty. Yep. It's an astronaut kitty. Look at that kitty. I'd have to check with M. She named him, or her. I'm not really sure what it is. But I'll have to follow up with her. She might remember. So that's the little first player token. Comes with a sand timer. So when time's running out, you'll see that tick down. So as far as I can tell, the Void Seeders don't really have a level 1, like a larvae type creature. They basically get right into it. I'd say this is like a level 2, maybe level 3 type creature. Not really quite sure what it is, but see if you can take a look at that. I just take this and move it. And maybe we'll go with the next one here. This is getting up a little bit more. And you'll see that they have a slight purple shade to them to indicate that they're part of the Void Seeders pack. Here we go. There's the Void Seeder pack. And maybe that was what was keeping the camera from focusing. Let's take a look. Let's try this again. There we go. I think that was it. As you can see, there we go. That's more like it. Now you can really see the detail of that guy. There you go. Whenever it focuses, you can pause if you want. Get a better look at them. This one doesn't really want to. The CEO doesn't really want to focus as well. There we go. Convict. Anyways, there's an idea of what the... So showed you one of the aliens, and we're going to get a little bit bigger. A little bit bigger. These are like... Okay, I take it back. These are more like Cthulhu inspired. And see, they really kind of put the time into that. And the big baby. I think this is probably like the leader of the Void Seeders. Shot of its top. That face, those tentacles. Just remarkable. You know, just remarkable. What in the hell is this? I just discovered something that I didn't see before. Em doesn't even know about this. She's going to have a bit of a laugh. I'm going to keep it from her until she watches this video or comes and sees us at a later date. I think there must be an ability. It's got to be an ability or something. But look what I found in the bottom of the box. Look at that. It's a puppy. Look at that puppy. Just chilling out. It's got a little spacesuit on too, kind of thing. Or it's like Monopoly, you know? That's the Void Seeder miniatures, and of course there's cards to indicate the different abilities, different techniques. So we've got the generator. Just an idea of what we have going on here. Escape control. So I'm not going to go through all the cards with you because there's a lot here and I don't want to take up too much of your time. So that's your basic Void Seeder. That's the pack of the stretch goals for Void Seeders and Aftermath. I'm just going to put everything back in here. Plus side is you're screwing it up if you have to force things in. So that's the Fight Seeders. Aftermath. Let's keep going. So these are just was added in. So they sent in their art book for the game. So there's an idea of what kind of art you're going to expect from them. See, a little bit more. They're looking just for eye candy more than anything. Just idea of how of some of the cards you're going to see throughout the game too. It's Carnomorph. So they put a lot of work into that. And then there's this Nemesis Untold Stories #2. Now, there's a #1 in there as well. It's a comic book. And the way that the comic book is designed is to be your campaign, actually. So if you want to play the game with a campaign, you use the Untold Stories to have to walk you through it, and they've got a nice little artistic thing to go with it. So you've got that. It explains you how to set it up in the first couple of pages here. And I don't want to get in too many kind of spoilers per se. So what we're just going to do is I'll show you the first page here because you're going to see it, but this is an idea of what they're doing. Look at that. So it's a comic book. And it explains, and as you can see in the yellow boxes that you may have looked at, it explains the game and what to set up and so on and so forth. So you play the game and you read the story. So that's kind of a cool concept that they've decided to do. This unboxing's almost done. Now we're finally down to the core box. Yes, it took this long to get to the core box. Let me pull it out, and it is huge. And now we've reached the core box. Now, you'll see, as I've explained earlier, we've already played the game, so this thing has been opened. So that's pretty cool front cover, but to have an idea, that's how thick the box is. Yeah, and again, I haven't zoomed in on this camera at all. Like, here's my hand, and that's a closed hand. See how much, like I have an open hand. That's how thick this box is. So there's a lot of content in here. Here's the back. So I'll show you what's going on the inside. All right, so like every good game, you have your game manual at the front. Again, it is a pretty big manual. Lovely details on how to play the game, but like I said, there is a how to play video, which if you ever do happen to find a copy of this game or are interested in it, that's going to help you significantly. Some player inserts to explain things a little bit better. This is a cool scanner. So it's kind of like old school. So there's cards in here, they're contamination cards. And what you do is you take the infection cards and you insert the contamination card here. And it will read, what is it? It might say infected, it might not. I'll see if I can get one in for you as we go forward here. So first off, we've got the box. We've got, the board. The board is 3 panels. And it's a 2-sided board. So that's the board, the best I can get. It's not even completely on the camera, but that's the board. And as you can see, it's got all the ships, it's got locations, and there's a countdown track over here. You'll see, yeah, you'll see better when we get to a playthrough. But yeah, so it's pretty detailed. And the intruders get their own board, which explains their weaknesses and how things go. And as you can see, it walks you through the process here. Just go here. It goes larvae, creeper, and so on. Each of the characters get their own board, so you can be a captain, scientist, mechanic, scout, soldier, and a pilot. And each of them has their own unique abilities, their own equipment cards. Each character is unique in themselves. Now we take out the plastic protector. Like I said, it's huge. Anyway, this is 2-tiered. Pretty sure there's a second layer on it. So we have these little noise tokens. When you start making noise through various actions, the creatures start to learn where you are. It's hard to see because they're yellow. Some little white counter pieces. These are damage cubes. And it should be noted that these noise tokens, I believe, were an extra. They were extra for Kickstarter backers, and these gears were also extra, but these indicate broken stuff. Again, these fire tokens also were upgraded components. It's something else when they actually go ahead and put a detail on a flame. Like, it's pretty cool. A whole bunch of cardboard tokens. They just cover off things like the warnings. Each of them has their own little component in the game. These were what you typically get without the upgraded components, is just like these cardboard pieces that they're saying they're broken. Got some unique dice. Yeah, these, like, this is what you get for a escape pod without the terrain expansion, which I have. This is the Intruder bag. This is where you store in the tokens to spawn new bad guys. And that's what these also have instead of the warnings part, but on the back there's that, which indicates what's coming out of the bag. Unique dice. It's a 10-sided dice. And they got an X added to that. Some claw marks. Apparently the dice don't want to come back out. don't do this at home. There we go. This is the custom dice for the game. It's got things for intruders, hits, blanks, egg tokens, and we'll go through the characters here. So the soldier, doesn't look like we'll be focusing on the characters. There's too much going on. I can't figure out what to focus on. There we go. See? Once you get rid of the faces, there we go. And now you've got a soldier. The scout. Not going to work, but okay. The technician is in a wheelchair. Maybe it's Dr. Archie. It's a female character. I'm not quite sure what her role is. Well, it is what it is. The captain. There he is. This guy's got a shotgun. And like I said, there's that sun drop on it. You can see it's got a little bit of a white to it. And now we get to the actual bad guys. And this is your level 1. This is your larvae. And you'll see again, the sun drop on here is a bit of a blue for the base game. And they're going to be tough to see, but they definitely had a theme here for sure. So that's the larvae. Then the level 2 bad guys, the creepers. This is him on the top. There he is. Look at that. If you look at the claws, or whatever you want to call them, notice that they are dripping in blood. That's a little extra detail they threw in for the sun drops. Really helps it settle out. Then we get up to the level 3, which is kind of like the soldiers. And like I was going back, talking about Aliens versus Predator. This is kind of what I was getting at, and you'll see here. So that's the top of the bad guys. Like, isn't that just... I know I said it before, but look at that detail. That's so cool. If you want a thematic game, this is totally... They were setting a scene. And I am just loving it. Look at the... Again, you can see the little detail for the blood. It's just really, really cool. And like I said, this is 2 levels. This is 2 tiers. So that's the first. And below that, we even got more stuff. So this is just a cardboard cutout. so that we can. It's literally, honestly, it's so you can take cool pictures of your game box. Kid you not, it's what this thing is for. Right on the back. I actually didn't realize that. Folds up. Take cool pictures with your game box. Seriously. Hashtag Nemesis is big. Yeah, I would agree. So there's lots of cards. You know, like again, I don't want to get into too much of those. Lots of cards. There's Rest. There's Serious Wounds. That's a contamination card. I'll show you what I was trying to get at before. Serious Wounds. You know, look at the back. Isn't that cool? Look at that slice. Like I said, there's hundreds of cards here, so I don't want to go into all of them. These are the tiles for the ship to help build the ship. So like this is an armory. Surgery. So the game can kind of change each time you play it, and there's a nest. Right? So as far as I know, I remember, you use all these tokens, it's just different layouts. Here's are your pink things. Here's the other rest of the colors for your characters. So I'll show you quick before I get into the miniatures here. So contamination card. See, they're just like this red thing. So you take the scanner and we'll put it in here. As you can first, I'll bring it up here. And see, there's nothing. It's just a red thing. So then I slip the card in like so. Okay. And now I can see what's in that red thing. And I'll bring it up here. I don't know if you'll be able to see it because it's red, but you will see it. If you take a look, you'll see, I think it's focused in there. If you look closely, you might see if this individual is infected or not. If you're able to see, post in the comments if they're infected or not. Okay, I just need to double check so that when I do look at your comments, so I will know if you were right or wrong. So continuing on with the characters, we've now moved up to the level 3s. I'd say level 3s, level 4s. Here's the top. Here's another variation. And look at its face. New face. Look at that. Isn't that something? There, and you can see the detail, you can see the blood. Now we're getting up there. Now this is even bigger. Now these are the people who are starting to get a little fearsome. This is not quite the queen, but these are some serious baddies. Like these guys and girls will... Actually, I don't even think they have a gender, to be honest. I would assume maybe they're all guys, but... Look at this. It's fearsome. Look at that crazy stuff. And the queen, the biggest one of them all. When she comes into the game, oh, it's basically game over. It's the top, and if you can look at the detail, just look for the detail. Let me see what you... Just post what you can see in that. Look at this. She is not a happy camper. So what do you think? What do you guys think about the miniatures? Pretty cool, eh? So thank you for joining me on that. Funny thing is there's one more thing left in the box. They added in all their Kickstarters. Nemesis, Awaken Realms does. It's a little quick little bonus. I'll grab it. they have a tendency to put in their bonus stuff. And that's the cat. There's a better look of the cat. And inside this bonus box, well, they like to tease with upcoming products, upcoming games. And this would be part of the tease. And don't worry, I have it too. So if you don't know what that is, then you'll find out. So the Untold stories, like I said, comic book. But yeah, comic book, it's the mission, right? A lovely letter from Awaken Realms. Just says thank you. So the next product was Tainted Grail, and I have it, and you will see in an upcoming video the Tainted Grail unboxing, which, like I've posted on the Instagram, looks like a treasure chest. And this is another one of their products coming up. It's called Ether Fields. That was another Kickstarter. I did back that as well. It's just a matter of time before that shows up. I think that's actually the next one due. You will soon find out that I have been a backer for many Awaken Realms stuff. I just missed their original Kickstarter, which was Lord of Hallas. I have not quite sure how to pronounce it without seeing it in front of my face. I can't tell you. But Ether Fields is another one. And this is a deck of regular, everyday playing cards for Ether Fields. That's going to be really cool. So, Ether Fields is another type of horror game, and it will follow the mind and nightmares, which I'm excited for that as too. So stick around and you will see that unboxing too. I just don't have it yet. It hasn't come out at this time, like at least when I posted this video. Anyways, thanks for sticking around. Like I said, that was going to be a little bit longer of an unboxing. That's what happens with the miniatures. So let me know what you think of that. I look forward to seeing you guys in the next video when we get to actually play this. Well, actually, it may not be the next video, but it's coming up. I actually get to play this, and I'm going to have a little bit of a task trying to put it all away here. So thanks for sticking around for as long as you did. Looking forward to playing more games with you, and until next time, keep the dice on the table. I'm Art. Thank you.